Ancient Israel existed as 12 distinct tribes without a central government, relying on ad hoc leaders called judges. But this decentralization created a dangerous vulnerability. As Philistines pushed inward, they threatened to collapse the scattered tribes entirely. Samuel emerged during this instability. Born to a previously barren woman and raised within a failing priesthood, he became the nation's final judge and first major prophet. Samuel's leadership maintained the focus on a pure theocracy. God ruled the people directly through a single human mouthpiece, a direct line of authority that was about to be challenged by the people's own demands. The consequences of a divided nation reached a breaking point when the Israelites took their most sacred relic, the Ark of the Covenant, into battle. They didn't just lose the fight, the Philistines captured the Ark itself. But the Ark proved impossible for the Philistines to contain. Plagues broke out in their cities, and the relic destroyed the stone idol of their local deity on its own temple floor. Terrified, the Philistines returned the Ark. Samuel led them to spiritual roots, but Israel looked at neighboring nations and demanded a human king. This request marked a pivot in their history. By asking for a visible king, they traded divine dependence for the security of a human state. God granted the request by pointing Samuel toward Saul. A man of striking height and appearance, Saul was out searching for his father's lost donkeys when Samuel intercepted him and quietly anointed him as the first king. Saul's reign began with a series of quick military victories. These triumphs temporarily unified the tribes and seemed to provide the exact security the people had asked for. However, Saul's actions soon revealed a pattern of entitlement. He bypassed the prophet's instructions to offer sacrifices himself and later refused to follow specific divine commands regarding defeated enemies. Because Saul treated his own judgment as superior to the law he was sworn to uphold, Samuel delivered a final verdict. Saul had been rejected as the rightful sovereign. Saul had broken the link between the throne and its divine source. He held the title of king, but he operated as an independent power, isolated from the authority that had appointed him. With Saul rejected, Samuel was sent on a secret mission to Bethlehem. He was told to find a new king among the sons of a farmer named Jesse. Samuel looked for another imposing warrior, but God bypassed the oldest, strongest brothers. He chose the youngest sibling instead, a shepherd boy named David. David's potential remained hidden until a massive Philistine champion named Goliath began mocking the Israelite army. While the king and his soldiers were paralyzed by the giant's size, David volunteered to fight. David walked onto the battlefield without armor or sword. Using only a shepherd's sling, he felt the giant with a single stone to the forehead. The victory shifted the definition of leadership in Israel. David succeeded where the army failed because he relied on his commitment to God's will rather than physical or military stature. National warfare soon gave way to a personal rivalry. As David's fame grew, Saul's admiration turned into a bitter paranoia that threatened to tear the new kingdom apart. During a private moment where David was playing music for him, Saul snapped. He hurled a heavy spear at David's head, forcing the young man to flee into the wilderness as a fugitive. While Saul hunted him, David had a chance to end the conflict. He snuck into Saul's camp while the king slept, but he refused to kill him. Instead, he took Saul's spear and water jug to prove he had spared the king's life. This restraint proved that David viewed the throne as something to be received from God, not something to be seized through violence. He was willing to wait for the proper time rather than take power by force. Saul's final days were marked by desperation. Feeling abandoned, he visited a medium to summon the ghost of the deceased Samuel, hoping for one last piece of advice. There was no help to be found. The following day, after losing his sons in a failed battle against the Philistines, the first king of Israel took his own life on the battlefield. The transition was complete. The tribal era and the failed experiment of Saul's independent rule were over. David was now positioned to lead, bringing together the military strength the people had asked for with the spiritual devotion Saul had lacked.